Media.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. I'm your host, Ricky Chaburgi, and joining me from Arizona is my buddy Derek. How you doing, Derek?
Hey, buddy. How you been?
I've been doing good. Just keeping busy today, trying to get the laundry done and other stuff done, and it's raining all day. And
well, we're back on Thursday night, and it's gonna probably take a little while for people to get used to that again. We've been doing Saturday shows, but we're back here on a Thursday night, ready to rock. Share the show, let people know. We'll bring some people home, hopefully.
Any complaints, address them to Derek.
Address them to me. Or very soon, we're gonna have a website very soon.
Sweet.
We're just waiting on a few, like one thing from Google still. Shouldn't have been taking this long, but it hasn't gone through yet. We're just waiting. And then there's one other thing. We have 2 website addresses. One of them is a little longer, and we have another one that's easier to remember, but they both go to the same place. And right now we're waiting on GoDaddy to release the other .com that we bought. So I think we're on the last week or so before we launch the website, which is going to be awesome to get that out of the way.
I noticed she did a test email the other day. I got a test email from
so how we did that is instead of, because we were going to give everybody email addresses, I thought that just be, you already have a bunch, I have a bunch, so we have everything that if anybody emails the website, it goes straight to your email. So you'll be, anytime somebody sends in a case or anything like that, you'll be getting that email. And then by the way, on the website you can report missing people. We do ask several things that you give us and provide us in order to report people, but it's a pretty high-tech website. We're really excited to get it out into the world. Double T's in the house.
Yep.
Cindy Ann Trotnick from Parsons. How you doing?
Sweet. And Ellen's here from Leavenworth.
Andrea Lynn. She just passed something for school. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm friends with her on Facebook. I want to give her a congratulations. She's been doing some schooling, and she just got some stuff finished up. So that's really cool. Christopher Unruh's here from Greensburg.
Sweet.
Greensburg just recently had a anniversary for the big tornado. I think that was a day or two ago that I saw that was the anniversary. Crazy times. And that tornado last week over in Andover, that could have so easily been another Greensburg. Luckily it was just a smaller tornado. But all those years ago, I believe 15 years ago, as of a couple days ago, Greensburg hit by that massive wedge tornado. So yeah, I'm glad he says yesterday. So I'm glad that Greensburg's still thriving. People are living there. And it looks like Christopher's called it home still. We got Deanne Dennis Sullivan from Wichita. How you doing?
I did see a short clip of that Andover tornado, and decent sized tornado, not that big, but it was still decent size.
I mean, it was a tornado. That's all. I mean, at the end of the day, it was a tornado. It ripped up a bunch of stuff. Luckily, nobody passed away. And then we got Tom Billings from Salina.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Monica Smith out of Wichita, Kansas.
Hey, Monica.
Andrea Lynn says, thank you. It was my final for one of my classes. I got 2 classes leave before awesome. Well, good for you. That is awesome. Yeah, for those of you that aren't my Facebook friend, you can always reach out. My name's Derek Evan Relaford on Facebook. I post some silly stuff sometimes, but we get used to it. Double T says still. Stephen Godby says, how's it going? How you doing, Stephen Godby? He used to listen to my trashy talk radio show back in the day.
Okay. I think Terry must have hit the enter too soon because he put underneath that still a very powerful tornado for being smaller.
Oh yeah, I mean it was a real tornado. I'm just glad it wasn't a wedge tornado F5 like Greensburg, because that would have been really deadly. Kyle Custer shouting out from my hometown.
Elkhart.
Awesome. How you doing, Kyle?
Sweet.
Well, keep commenting on where you're from. We want to talk to everybody tonight. We are going to cover some cases real quick. You're listening to the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast. We'll be right back after this.
I was noticing Monica down there said, "Did y'all see? There was actually two. One coming down and it connected. No, I didn't see that."
No, I did not see that either.
And here's our Hayes representative, Lori Hayes from
I
Hayes.
love Lori Hayes from Hayes. She's awesome. Stephen Gobby says, doing all right, staying busy. Yeah, I hit enter too early. Double T, man.
Leave it to him.
Kyle says,
we're
doing
going.
well. Hope you guys are doing good. Thanks for doing what you do. For sure, man. Thanks for showing up and sharing the flyers, too. Tell us about, is it Alanya?
Alana. I'm assuming Alana. Yeah, excuse me, Alana Ybarra, missing from here in Salina since April 21st, 2022. She's 16, 5'2" to 5'5", weighs between 110 and 120 pounds. She has brown hair and brown eyes. She also has a piercing on the left side of her nose. If you have any information regarding Alana's disappearance, or you know her whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get her located and back to where she needs to be. And yes, we have covered her in the past before, so when she's gone missing before.
Right. Well, hopefully it's not too long before she, gets back to where she needs to be.
Yeah.
We see Salina way too often on this show.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily it's not, we cover several homicides in Salina. You never know it's a big town. Salina's not like a little town. It's a big place for being where it's out in the middle of nowhere. And you never know what kind of trouble is lurking out there in a big town. So I hope that anybody that's unaccounted for in Salina or any of these big towns, just take consideration that when you're unaccounted for, you enter this scary place where we don't know if we need to help you or protect you from something.
Right.
So if you're seeing this, reach out to somebody, let them know you're safe. If it is unsafe to go back to where you were living before you decided to go, contact the police, contact this show, contact somebody from school, let them know that it's not safe where you are. We obviously don't want to put you in danger, but if you're just blowing off some steam, we do ask that you call somebody and at least let them know you're okay.
Right. Definitely.
We got Lynn Addison from California hanging out here. That's my buddy.
Sweet.
Tell us about Lena.
Okay. Lena Martinez Pritchard is missing from, as soon as my computer decides to give it to me here, Wichita, Kansas, since May 1st of 2022. She's 15 years old. She's 5'7", weighs 140 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Lena's disappearance, or you know her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9452 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get Lena located and back to where she needs to be. I mean, she's 15. We need to get her found back home.
Yeah. And it's still pretty early on. It's only been about 4 days. So, again, like I just kind of said, if you're not safe where you're supposed to be, then you need to let somebody know.
Yeah.
If you're just blowing off some steam, you need to really let somebody know you're okay. There's a lot of people out there that see an unaccounted 15-year-old girl as an opportunity. And they're not going to tell you when they first meet you that they see you as an opportunity.
No, they're not.
They're probably going to be really cool to you. They're probably going to be really nice, really cool, let you do whatever you want. But at the end of the day, these people don't care about you. Again, if you're not safe at home, call the authorities, let them know what's going on. But please let somebody know you're safe.
Definitely. And see, Trisha Arnold's made it in. Hey, Trisha, how are you doing? And Esther Unruh made it in. Hey, Esther.
Nice. Tell us about Jamira.
Jamira Sue Luller. I'm assuming it's Luller. I hope I said that right.
I think it looks
like she is missing from Topeka, Kansas since April 25th of 2022. She is 15 years old. She is 5'3" to 5'8" and weighs between 135 and 155 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. Excuse me. It is believed she's still in the local Topeka area. If you have any information regarding Jamira's disappearance, you know her whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9247 or 785-368-9551 or 785-368-9200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't get her located and back to where she needs to be.
Right. I mean, it's just scary. 15-year-old Topeka, again, even bigger than Salina.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people out there that see a 15-year-old girl as an opportunity, like we discussed, and it's just not really ideal for a young person at all to be unaccounted for and not have somebody looking out for their best interests. So, yeah, Jamira, if you're seeing this, maybe you've had some time to cool off. Maybe you had some time to think about stuff. Starting out life on your own at 15 without any credentials because you can't get them because you're considered missing. You can't really go very far in life without the things that you need, your license, so living on the lam at 15 is just not the best ideal situation to be in. You're worth more than that. You can do whatever you want with your life. Let's just get home and let's focus on finishing this last few weeks of school and just having a good life, making good decisions.
Right. Definitely agree with that. And Rachel Sook's in the house from Shawnee. Hey, Rachel. And Tammy Blanton Stevens from Ottawa. How you doing, Tammy?
Nice. Never been to Ottawa either.
I don't think I have either.
I haven't been to a lot of places in Kansas, man. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad how many places. Oh, I don't have my light on again. It's pretty sad how many places I've never been to in my home state. But
and
tell
Esther,
us. Go ahead.
Esther just commented she's from Greensburg as well.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, we were just talking about Greensburg 15 years ago yesterday. The big tornado. I'm glad everybody's still there.
Yeah.
Tell us about Marion.
Alrighty. She is missing from Kansas City, Kansas since December 23rd of 2021. She's 17 years old. She's 4'10". She weighs between 115 and 140 pounds. Has dark brown or black hair or brown eyes. It's believed that she may be with an adult male. If you have any information regarding Marion's disappearance or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 or the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 800-843-5678. See if we can't get Marion located and back to where she needs to be. It's been several months, so let's see if we can't get her found.
Right. That's definitely, it's 5 months, 6 months almost.
Yeah, pretty close to it, yeah.
And they think she's with an older dude?
Yeah, and with an adult male. I'm not sure how much older.
Right.
Older.
Because 18 would be an adult male, so that wouldn't be that weird. If adult male could also mean 46-year-old dude.
Yeah.
So
somebody anywhere in between. So
yeah, right.
It's hard to say.
But I mean, at the end of the day, she's with an adult that knows she's missing, and they haven't helped her out to get found in 5 months. So 18, 46, at the end of the day, still not somebody who has Marion's best interests at heart.
Nope. Definitely not.
No. Let's talk about Laney. I like how that's spelled, Laney.
Yeah, don't think I've seen it ever spelled quite that way before. And she's missing from Wichita, Kansas since April 6th of 2022. She's 16 years old. She's 5'9", 180 pounds, brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Laney's disappearance, or you know of her whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9452 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. See if we can't help get her located and back to where she needs to be as well.
Yeah. And that's been a month. And you got to wonder, there's somebody, unless they don't know, but how do you not know that the 16-year-old kid that's staying at your house hasn't mentioned where they're supposed to be, hasn't called, hasn't had a parent figure call and be like, is it okay if she's over there? I mean, leads me to believe that there's an adult out there that's letting her stay there and being complicit with her being missing. Now, again, Laney, if you took off because you were being abused in any way, then that is terrible. And this isn't the way to do it, though. You need to contact the authorities. You can contact this page, contact somebody from your school if you're being abused in any way. But you need to let somebody know you're okay. We have several cases of girls around your age that have been missing for a year or longer, and you got to start. Your mind goes to dark places when it's been this long since you've seen somebody. So, it's been a month. Let's call somebody. Let's let them know you're safe.
Definitely. Even if you have to talk to a counselor at school or a teacher that you trust, reach out to them too.
Yeah.
But let somebody know where you are and that you're okay.
Yeah. You listen to Can't Missing Us Out podcast. We'll be right back after this.
All right.
If you or someone you know is thinking of running from home, has run away, or if you are a runaway ready to go back home, call 1-800-RUNAWAY. That's 1-800-786-2929.
Okay. And we're going to talk about Natalie Marquez. She is missing from Topeka, Kansas since May 1st of 2022. She's 14 years old. She's 5'5", 105 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She went missing from her family residence at about 1 o'clock in the morning on May 1st. And she's 14 years old. She's 5'5", weighs 105 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Natalie's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Topeka, Kansas Police Department at 785-368-9247 or 785-368-9551 or 785-368-9200 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can help get Natalie located and back to where she needs to be.
Too young.
Yeah, 14. Just crazy.
I don't know, because my niece is 14, so it's hard for me because when I see 14 on this show, it just seems so young.
Mm-hmm.
But my niece, she's 14, and last night I was outside and she come walking up the road in the dark, and I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Oh, I just got off work," and she only works maybe 5 blocks from where she works.
Right.
But I was just like, "Why don't you call me?" And she's like, "I'm not a baby." She's like, I'm not a baby. She's like, "I like walking," and she's like, "It's fun." And I was like, "Well, if you don't ever think you can't call me," I was like, "I do a show about missing people." I was like, "I don't really," and we don't live in a horrible part of town or anything, but as that 14-year-old girl, I feel like that's vulnerable, to be out by yourself, and if this girl's been unaccounted for 4 or 5 days, that's just really scary to me. And maybe I'm being overreactive. Maybe I'm a helicopter parent. I just feel like at 14, there needs to be some good guidance going on, and sadly, a lot of these kids we talk about probably don't have a lot of good guidance. It's tough, but I just know that not being accounted for and being in the hands of an adult that's okay with harboring a minor is just dangerous. You're better off just going to the police if you're in danger at home or going home. But at the end of the day, Natalie, you have your whole life ahead of you. You can do whatever you want with this life. Let's go home. Let's finish school. Let's do something great. Let's do something awesome with life.
Definitely. Call somebody, let them know where you're at so they can come and get you.
Yeah. Simple as that.
I know it's only been 4 days, but that's 4 days too long.
Yeah. And sometimes, it might be a situation where people don't want to be gone anymore, but they probably don't know how, what do I do? Just go back, or do I call some, all you have to do is call the police station.
Mm-hmm.
Let them know I'm unaccounted for. I need help. I need an officer to come get me.
Right.
And, or you can call, you message our page. Ricky will hook you up. We have a lot of phone numbers that we endorse on this show. We'll get you to the right people for sure. Right. Tell them about Thomas Deloach.
Okay. Thomas Deloach is missing from Wichita, Kansas since May 1st of 2022. He's 17 years old. He is 5'8", weighs 130 pounds, has blonde hair and blue eyes. If you have any information regarding Thomas's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Wichita, Kansas Police Department at 316-660-9452 or 316-660-9456 or 316-263-6011 or 785-296-4017, which is the KBI number, and let them know what you know about where Thomas may be. Or Thomas, if you see this, give them a call and let them know where you are so they can come and get you.
Yeah.
I mean, 17 years old, you're almost 18. You know, let's finish out high school and move on.
Yeah, I mean, I know I didn't understand it when I was that age, but I don't think 17-year-old people, 14 to 17, all these youngsters we see, I don't think they realize like how much they have life in the grip of their hands. Like it's just looking back at my life, like at the end of the day, wherever you go, there you are. I feel like most people's life has to do with a series of decisions, and those decisions have to be self-serving. Those decisions have to be making sure that you're okay so you can be the best version of yourself for the people that rely on you. So I don't know. I see these youngsters and I feel like they feel like afraid and up against the world, but I just want to grab them and be like, hey, listen, you are 17. You have so much life ahead of you. Like so much life ahead of you. This is nothing. This is a speed bump. Here in a year, you can do whatever you want. You can go get a job in sales and make $100,000 out of high school. You can go to college. You can go to a tech school. You can do whatever you want in this world. Being 17 is very temporary. You have the whole rest of your life to do whatever you want. So, go home. If home's not safe again, call the police. But like Ricky said, let's finish school, let's get things going, and let's get a plan going. I mean, you literally can do whatever you want. I am jealous. I'm 39 years old. I'll be dead in 20 years, probably. You know what I mean? Like, you have the world ahead of you. So just all these youngsters we cover, you have the world at the tip of your hands. Just make some good decisions and take care of yourself. Kaylee is here again.
Hey, Kaylee.
Tammy's here from. Oh, we already did that one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, already did that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about Sydney Bradley.
Okay. She is missing from Coffeyville, Kansas since May 3rd of 2022. She's 14. She is 5 foot tall, weighs 120 pounds. She has brown hair and hazel eyes. She was last seen in her residence in Coffeyville, and it's believed she may be possibly en route to Labette, Kansas. She's 14 years old. She's 5 foot tall, weighs 120 pounds. Has brown hair and hazel eyes. She was last seen wearing a gray sweatshirt, black shorts, and leopard print Hey Dude shoes. If you have any information regarding Sydney's disappearance, or you know her whereabouts, please call the Coffeyville, Kansas Police Department at 620-252-6160 or the KI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Sydney located back to where she needs to be. Right. Another 14-year-old. Scary situation.
We're kind of going through this show fast. I kind of want to open it up for a little bit of discussion.
Yeah.
You had sent in the RKMU chat that we have with you, me, and Brandon and Terry. You had sent this story that it said Lake Mead, and for some reason I thought that was in Kansas, but that's actually over in Nevada. I'm hearing.
Well, it straddles Nevada and Arizona.
Right. Okay. So what? I did read the article. They found a body, and the article was kind of alluding that they think they're probably going to find more. Like, what exactly happened?
Well, let me find that article here again, and we will go over that.
Okay, because I did browse over it, but to me it seems like they're automatically assuming it's mob related. It seemed like from what I was reading.
Sorry about that. My daughter's messing around with her speaker.
Wow.
Trying to find that article. I'm scrolling back up through our messages to find it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I saw. I'll just put Lake Mead on here.
There it is. There it is.
Okay.
Whew. I had to scroll quite a ways to find that thing.
And the crazy thing is this person's probably on a missing persons folder, poster somewhere.
Probably. It was put out by KSN here in Kansas, which is kind of surprising, but waiting on let's pull up here. Las Vegas, Nevada, body found in a barrel at Lake Mead on Sunday, which would have been the first. May have been underwater for as long as 4 decades, and more bodies are likely to appear as the lake recedes due to severe drought, according to Las Vegas Metro Police. Buzzers discovered the body around 3 p.m. Sunday. Police say the person was killed late in the 1980s. Based on items in the barrel, Las Vegas Metro Police Lieutenant Ray Spencer said he was death or was found in the investigation. A photo shared with KLAS showed what looked to be skeletal remains in the barrel. The barrel looked to have been stuck in the mud. It's going to take an extensive amount of work, Spencer said, about identifying the victim, adding that his team was reaching to the Nevada, Las Vegas, to examine growth on the barrel and when it may have started to erode. It's going to be a very difficult case, Spencer said. I would say there's a very good chance as the water level drops that we're going to find additional human remains. The ongoing severe drought is leading to other discoveries in the water. Last week, the top of a water intake pipe was visible above the water's surface as the lake level continues to drop. Lake Mead, located in both Nevada and Arizona, 4 miles east of Las Vegas, dropped below 1,056 feet in elevation last Tuesday, less than a week after hitting 1,057 feet the week before. Lake levels are expressed in altitude, not depth. At its highest levels, the lake is near 1,225 feet, so it's down quite a bit.
Yeah.
I think anybody can understand that there are probably more bodies that have been dumped in Lake Mead. It's just a matter of, are we able to recover those, Spencer said. Clark County Coroner's Office was working to identify the remains, and they're saying tips can be submitted anonymously through Crime Stoppers by calling 702-385-5555 or at crimestoppersofnv.com/report-a-crime. Information can also be sent via text by sending crime NV and then your message to crimes 274637. Crime Stoppers offers a reward for information that leads to an arrest.
You know, it's like if they could figure out a way to drain water everywhere, you'd find so many murder weapons, bodies, evidence of crimes. It would just be everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Most definitely.
Well, let's take a break real quick. You're watching KMU. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, this is Brandon with the Kansas Missing and Unsolved podcast, and today I want to talk about Alex LaRussa, one of our outstanding cases. He went missing on December 8th of 2017. He was 25 at the time he went missing. He would now be 29 years old. The last contact with family Alex had was at 4 a.m. on December 8th. Alex is wheelchair bound as his left leg is amputated above the knee. At the time of his disappearance, Alex was 25 years old. He would now be 29 years old. He's 6'2", weighs 175 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. Alex has a tattoo on the left side of his neck that says pain. If you have any information regarding Alex's disappearance or you know of his whereabouts, please call the Salina, Kansas Police Department at 785-826-7210 or call Crime Stoppers at 785-825-8477 and let's work to try and get Alex back home.
The soothing voice of Brandon Smith.
Yeah. Adding a little footnote to the Alex LaRussa case is they did find the vehicle that he was driving abandoned kind of northeast of Salina a little bit and had all of his personal belongings, including his wheelchair and stuff like that.
Wow.
So,
kind of hard to get around without that.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about Sydney.
We already did.
We did Sydney?
Yes, we did.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Tell me about Samaraya.
Okay. And of course, we've talked about her before, but she's missing again. From Kansas City, Kansas, since April 20th of 2022. She's 18. She's 5'8", 135 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. She also uses the nickname Mia. It's believed she may either be in Kansas City, Kansas or Kansas City, Missouri areas. Again, she's 18 years old. She's 5'8", weighs 135 pounds. She has black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Samaraya's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department at 913-596-3000 or the KBI at 785-296-4017 and see if we can't get Samaraya located and back to where she needs to be.
Yeah.
I mean, she's 18, but she's still unaccounted for and needs to be located. And Terry saying sounds like a mob dumping ground to me, referring to the barrel found in Mead, which, it could be. I mean, for years and years and years, Vegas was under the mob control, whether it's the Chicago mob, New York mob, they were all had a piece of it for a long time. So it wouldn't surprise me if it was mob related.
Yeah. I mean, that close to Vegas,
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for that to be mob related.
And he says Alex Lewis is a foul play. Sure smells foul to me. Yeah, more than likely.
Rachel says missing again.
Yep, meaning Samurai. Yep, she's missing again. Just got to get her located and back to where she needs to be again.
Well, we've talked about this next case several times in the last few months, and we're going to keep bringing it up until we hear something. Let's talk about Dietrich Foster a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I know they're really pushing hard to try to get some information on him. He's missing from Independence, Kansas since April 12th of 2020. He was 37 when he went missing. He's now 39. He's 5'9", 190 pounds, black hair and brown eyes. He was reported missing on May 12th, but he was last seen around April 12th in Independence. And the KBI detectives from the Independence Police Department are conducting the case as a homicide based upon findings during the investigation into his disappearance. Again, at the time of his disappearance, he was 37. He's now 39. He's 5'9", weighs 190 pounds, has black hair and brown eyes. If you have any information regarding Dietrich's disappearance or you know his whereabouts, please call the Independence, Kansas Police Department at 620-332-1700 or the KBI at 785-296-4017. And there is a governor's reward of $5,000 for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the disappearance and suspected murder of Dietrich Foster. So, if you know anything at all, even if you think it's just, a little trivial tidbit, call that anyway. It might be a big piece of the puzzle. You never know.
Yeah. Yeah, I have I covered I think I'll bring it on here. One of these days I'll play it. But this guy messaged me a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, which he just recently passed away, maybe 3 months ago. He got in an accident and passed away. But about a year ago, he got in touch with me and he said, "Hey, I hear you're pretty good at like investigating stuff that happened in Southwest Kansas a long time ago." He's like, "My dad was murdered, but I don't know how. I don't know where. But he's like, I was wondering if you could find anything out about it." Well, so anyway, I did some digging and I figured out we ended up finding his dad's death certificate. And then I interviewed his descendant, and she had told me the story of kind of what happened. And anyway, long story short, a descendant of Bus Walsh, who I did the story about, she contacted me last night and she was like, "Hey, I just wanted to say thank you because I don't know much about my family history." She's like, "But now I know that she's like, now I know what happened to my grandpa." And she said, "I also wanted to let you know that I watch your show." And she's like, "I live in the same town where Dietrich Foster's at." And she's like, "And everybody's talking about it."
Wow.
She's like, "So thanks for covering it." But I guess she's out there in Independence, and she said that it's a very talked about situation.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's lovely to hear that. First of all, it's lovely to hear that somebody's listening to our show. We always love to hear that. But to hear somebody on the ground there saying like, "Yeah, there's a lot of scuttlebutt going on around what happened to Dietrich, and people are pretty upset," because as of right now, if what the KBI is thinking, if he was injured or murdered or something like that, that means there's a murderer on the loose. And communities don't like that. Communities do not like it whenever there's a murderer on the loose. So I'm glad to hear that, people are talking about Dietrich and people are worried. And, hopefully we can get some resolution on that sooner than later.
Definitely. That's one thing that's always bothered me too. Is when you have these unsolved homicides, that means there's killers running loose that haven't been caught.
Yeah, people living the and granted, I don't unless they're like a psychopath. I don't think anybody ever breathes and has a good night's sleep ever again when they have something that massive they're trying to hide. So I do find solace in knowing that they're probably not happy in life because they have this horrible amount of guilt.
Right.
But yeah, it's very depressing to know that if Dietrich was murdered by somebody, that person's more than likely going to get up tomorrow and go to work all day. And then it's Friday, they'll probably get off work and go hang out with their friends. Dietrich doesn't get to do any of that stuff.
Nope.
So yeah, I'm glad that people in Independence are saying enough's enough. We want to know where Dietrich is.
Yeah, I know he's got kids that are worried about him and wanting to know what's going on and stuff like that. And
I mean, he's my age, man. Like that's just crazy. He's my age, Double T's chiming in. I'm curious as to what has led authorities to investigate Dietrich's disappearance as a homicide. They must have found something strong.
Must have.
Could be hearsay. I mean, people always there's always stories that come out about this kind of stuff. It's just people contact our page and tell us stuff, and we always pass the information on to authorities. But at the end of the day, it's like hearsay is hearsay, which is why we don't really air anything we hear in our inbox. But I do appreciate hearsay happening because it sounds like it led the KBI, and maybe they found something physical. But I'm glad that it's to me, it's a sign of people are talking, and that's what I hear. That's what I want to come across is that people are still talking about Dietrich and Independence. They want to know what happened. They want an explanation.
Good that they are.
Yeah,
it's good that they are.
Speaking of enough's enough, we need to get some resolution, and we have covered Dana Jane Bruce so many times in the last few months. We'll continue covering her flyer. This is just another one that it's been too long, and Ricky's going to go over her flyer. As he's going over that, always remember, if he goes over the numbers too fast, if you look at the bottom of the screen, all of the numbers he's going to go over are right there, so feel free to write them down while he's going over it.
Okay, Dana Jane Bruce is missing from Sedalia, Missouri since October 4th of 2008. She was 23 when she went missing. She'd now be 36. She's 5'2", 98 pounds. She has brown hair and green or hazel eyes. She was last seen at her children's babysitter's home in Sedalia. She left the children there earlier that day so she could go out for the evening. She returned at midnight and gave the babysitter more money and asked her to watch the children for the remainder of the night. Dana was seen at the Malone's bar on Main Street with a young man driving a late model red Ford F-150 truck earlier on the night of her disappearance. She left with the man at 11:30 p.m. Police have identified him, and he traveled to Atlanta after her disappearance. They questioned him about Dana after he was arrested there on unrelated charges of marijuana possession and driving on a suspended license. Authorities haven't named him publicly, but they are calling him a person of interest in her case. He told his questioners that he and Dana had parted ways after they left the bar, and he never saw her again after that. She left all of her belongings behind, including her hairbrush and toothbrush, and she doesn't have credit cards, debit cards, a checking account, a cell phone, or a car. Again, at the time of her disappearance, she was 23. She would now be 36. She's 5'2", weighs 98 pounds. She has brown hair that was colored brown at the roots and black at the ends with red highlights and green or hazel eyes. She was last known to be wearing a black shirt with the word Rebel in silver lettering on the front and blue jeans. She has a tattoo of a teddy bear with wings and the name Dylan on her upper left arm. She's blind in her left eye. She has a 2-inch scar along her lower spine and a staple scar on her right shoulder. Her ears are pierced 1 time each. If you have any information regarding Dana's disappearance or you know her whereabouts, please call the Sedalia, Missouri Police Department at 660-827-7823 or 660-826-8100. Or the Missouri State Highway Patrol at 573-526-6178. And they have a toll-free number that is 866-362-6422. And see if we can't get Dana located and back to where she needs to be.
Yeah.
Got Ellen down here saying, "Thank you, Ricky and Derek. This means a lot to me. You're very welcome, Ellen." And then Double T jumps in here and says, I mentioned on an earlier broadcast that Sedalia is the home of the Missouri State Fair. That means a lot of people are in and out of that town. Someone knows something. No doubt in my mind, Dana's case is foul play.
Yeah.
Yeah. We hope not, but I mean, it's been almost 14 years. I mean, I know stranger things have happened. I mean, there's been other cases where, a person's been missing for quite a number of years and we're located. I mean, J.C. Dugard's a prime example of that. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. That's just, I hate the whole guy just left. I don't, again, and it sounds like he's been ruled out. Maybe not ruled out, but maybe they don't have enough to say anything. They have to have that little thing called evidence. But I don't know, man. That to me, just every time I've ever heard of two people being around each other, one of them goes missing and the other one just moves the next day. I'm just like, that's weird.
Yeah, it's definitely suspicious for sure.
Yeah. Well, we have two more cases here. Let's go ahead and go into it. We'll talk about this. We don't have a name, unfortunately. This is something Rick, you undercover because this is a Fort Wayne, Indiana, unidentified male case that Ricky brought into the roll fold here. And apparently you said there's something to do with Kansas in the stuff they found, maybe?
Yeah, this is an unidentified male. It was found in Fort Wayne, Indiana on April 3rd of this year. The Allen County, Indiana Coroner's Office is asking for the public's help to identify a man who was found in the St. Mary's River in the 4400 block of Bluffton Road in Fort Wayne near Family Dollar on Sunday, April 3rd. Officials believe the man died here and he was not moved to this location by floating down the river. The man does not match any reported missing persons from Allen County. The cause and manner of death both remain under investigation. Foul play is not suspected in his death. The victim is believed to have been dead since early summer months of 2021. He is described as a male who is either Asian, Hispanic, or Native American, small in stature with a short or close-cut black-colored hair. The victim has a tattoo on the upper left arm of a rose flower with leaves and a tattoo on the lower left arm of a sideways heart with the script word possibly joy or love. The tattoos are black-colored ink with no coloring. And this is where there's a possible Kansas connection here. Found near the victim was a blue and black-colored mesh backpack with the emblem of Shawnee Mission Medical Center, 50th, 1962 to 2012, which Shawnee Mission, of course, that's over by Kansas City. The deceased was dressed in a jockey-sized large white crewneck T-shirt, Fila size 8 black gym shoes, and Champo Sports size extra large blue shorts with C. Carroll football logo. There was also a purple-colored bandana near his remains. And they're asking anybody with any information regarding the identity of this unknown man to call the Allen County, Indiana Coroner's Office at 260-449-7389. So that's why they're thinking, possibly a Kansas connection because of the Shawnee Mission backpack.
Wow. Well, that's just sad, man. Like you're an unidentified person, Yeah,
there's a couple of shots of the tattoos and the shot of the Shawnee Mission backpack and the shorts and the shoes and a couple more pictures of the backpack and that purple bandana. Double C is asking if they have a cause of death. They're saying they don't believe it's foul play, but they haven't released the cause yet either. And hey, Shayna Holstead from Wichita. Hey, Shayna. I'm missing some. Oh, Rachel's asking, do you know who Dylan is? I do not. And Rachel, are you talking about Dylan Dodson? And Rachel literally just talked about with the tattoo the name Dylan. And Ellen is saying, yes, that is my niece. And I'm hearing that Davion Broderick was found, by the way. Oh, I'm pretty sure I updated him, I thought. I remember let me look here and see if I did. I can find out real fast here.
Right.
I was glad to hear he was. Yep, I did. I updated him. So yeah. Thank you for letting us know. I had gotten a little bit of a tip as to where he may be, so I reported that, and apparently that led to his being located. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's been a while.
Yep.
Well, we got one more case here. Go ahead.
Ellen says that Dylan is her nephew.
Oh wow.
So I'm assuming that Dylan would be Dana's son, is what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but that's my assumption.
Well, let's talk about Floyd Johnson, tonight's featured case.
And Ellen says yes. Okay, this is an unsolved homicide. And I actually, Coffeyville Police Department was talking about Floyd Johnson's case on their Facebook, and they were showing the playing card that's in that unsolved case deck that's going to be coming out in a couple of months. It's already available online, but it's going to be coming out in a hard deck in a couple of months. But so I went ahead and made an unsolved homicide flyer off of that card, and from what I could see that the police department was sharing, it was April 12, 2009, and Floyd was found dead of a gunshot wound in Coffeyville. A light-colored small car driven by a white female and occupied by several black males was seen firing at Floyd, and they're asking if anybody has any information on the unsolved homicide of Floyd Johnson to call the Coffeyville Police Department. It's 620-252-6160. Detective Sergeant Vargas at 620-252-6010, or Detective Kassler at 620-252-6145, or the KBI's 800 KS crime number as well. And those that are wishing to remain anonymous may provide information to the crime tip hotline at 620-252-6133. And see if we can help generate some information on Floyd's unsolved homicide as well. Yep. And my brother is saying there are a few Carroll Catholic high schools across the country, including Wichita. Surely those shorts came from one of them.
Right.
Yeah. And I was kind of thinking about the backpack and, being to the Shawnee Mission, and just thinking, well, I mean, he could have been in Shawnee Mission, or he could have been in a Goodwill somewhere and picked it up at a Goodwill somewhere, or a garage sale, or anywhere. But hopefully it, and hopefully not. Hopefully it is something that was his, and maybe that can help lead to identifying him. So, but no, I just thought I would share that on the page and stuff, since it did have that Shawnee Mission backpack. So I thought possibly.
Right.
Never know.
Right. Well, we don't have a located safe tonight. We had 4 people located, but we're gonna have one Tuesday for sure. Because I believe we're gonna find some people between now and Tuesday.
And out of those 4, 2 of them were just actually found this afternoon. So.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Which is good. I always enjoy putting a located safe on a flyer.
Yeah. Let me see.
Yep.
Well, is
and
there
I did find
else?
out.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say I did share the link to the radio interview I did. It was almost 2 weeks ago now. I did share that on the page, and I also found out today it's going to re-air on KFRM radio tomorrow, or on Monday morning. On Monday morning as well. So it was carried on one radio station. I'm going to be aired on another radio station. So.
Well, that's cool, man. That's really cool. I thought you had said it was initially going to be broken up into segments.
I wasn't sure how they were going to do it exactly, but it turned out to be about almost a 45-minute interview.
And it's just a solid. They just do the whole interview. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Just about 45 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to it tomorrow on my way to work. I have about an hour drive to work every day now.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been on the phone. A family member of one of the flyers we cover, has been calling me talking about some. Yeah, it's nice to be there to listen for them and see if they're just if people are frustrated. It's been this long without them getting any kind of resolution. So
yeah, Trisha's saying she shared the interview. Thank you, Trisha. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to it tomorrow on the way to work.
I got to admit, if anybody's listened to it, I have to admit, the day that interview was done, I had literally, I think I'd only actually been awake and out of bed for probably 15 to 20 minutes before we did the interviews, because we did it over the phone. So I wasn't completely 100% awake, but it was a good interview nonetheless.
Well, I think it's cool, man. You're getting a page out there, getting.
Mm-hmm.
What's that? Shawnee Mission Advent Health is where I get my treatment. I've shared his flyer on my page. I have a lot of friends who work there.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel. Appreciate that.
Nice.
Any help is greatly appreciated.
Oh, I wanted to say this before we get out of here. If you listen to this podcast in audio form, if you notice every day after the show, Facebook will tell you we uploaded a new podcast. We get a ton of downloads from Facebook. Well, turns out Facebook is abandoning Facebook podcasts in June after less than a year of a trial period. So we're going to lose a lot of downloads right there if people don't jump ship. So if you are one of those people that listen to this podcast on Facebook podcast, we are on Spotify, we are on Apple Podcasts, we are on Deezer, we are on Spreaker. We are everywhere. So if you want to keep listening to us, which we would love for you to do, just find us on one of your other favorite podcast platforms, and it'll be the same show, same time every week.
And if you're on Audibles, we're on Audibles as well.
Yep.
So, yep, we're just about everywhere, which is good. I'm glad to see that it's being carried to so many different places. I mean, the more ears hear it, and hopefully can call in some information on some of them.
We have about 500 people that listen to our podcast via Facebook. So I just hope that they get transferred over to another platform.
Yep. And Shelby Hockenberry Lewis says you help them have peace knowing you're out there getting info out there on their loved ones. Thank you. Yeah, that's. I shared a meme one time on my personal Facebook that said we have to be their voices because they no longer have voices. So, and I firmly believe that.
That's my racket, man. That's people are like, why do you do this? I'm like, because these people can't talk.
Terry's asking if we're on Podbean.
I think so.
Okay.
I believe so.
Okay, cool.
We're on a ton of stuff, man. I was looking at it today. We're on so many platforms that I've never even heard. I'll tell you what all platforms we're on because we have time.
And Tricia says you guys do so much good. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. We try. We really do try. And I do want to make one comment. I don't just stop at doing flyers. I kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier. When I get information sent to me, I do forward it on to where it needs to go to,
right.
As best I can. I do let them know what I know. And I have been a sounding board for family members that are really frustrated about things regarding their missing person or unsolved homicide, and they just feel the need to just let it all out. And I listen. I listen for them, and then they apologize for being long-winded or bending my ear. And it's like, hey, it's no problem. If you need to vent, go right ahead and vent. It's not a problem. I don't mind. Because sometimes people just need a sounding board to blow off some steam and get it off their chest.
Right.
And I don't mind being that soundboard. I really don't.
Well, I want to say this real quick. Hey, KMU listeners, we get 48% of our downloads from Facebook podcasts. But as you've heard, Facebook podcast is no longer here in the next couple of weeks. So rather than miss this show in the future, you can catch us on any of the following platforms: Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Castbox, Spreaker, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Overcast, GeoSavin, Bullhorn, AntennaPod, Podcast Addict, ATC, Audible, Mixerbox, podcastaddict.com, Pocket Cast, com.audio. We are everywhere, people.
Didn't hear Podbean, though.
Did not hear Podbean. Okay.
No.
I thought we were definitely on there. Well, I'll look into see if we can get on Podbean if we're not on there.
Okay.
Let's see. But yeah, we're all over the place. So if you're one of those, like we have about 551 listeners on Facebook each week. If you're one of those people, please go to one of those other sources and stay a part of the party with us.
I was looking to see maybe if I could find out real fast if we are. So I asked Google, is KMU Pod on Podbean, and it's giving me all kinds of Podbean stuff, but it's not saying conclusively
Right.
whether we are or not. So
Well, I'll look into it, and if we're not, I'll get us on there.
Okay.
It'll be easy enough.
Apparently, Podbean is also a podcast hosting website as well.
Yeah. Well, that might be why we're not on there, because it might be one of those ones where you just have to pay them to be on there. Our host sends us all those places I just named. We go there for free. Well, not free. I pay each month for our host, but other than that, they send us all over the place, you know. So, but I'll look into Podbean and see what it would take to get on there.
Cool. One more pod place wouldn't hurt,
right?
Let's see. Crime Junkies on there.
Right.
But it doesn't show us, at least not on that real quick search that I did.
We're probably not on there. We are on YouTube.
Yeah. Yep, we are on YouTube. Just on YouTube, it's under my name, Ricky Chabruggi, _ Kansas Missing and Unsolved. Is what it's under. And then
Kansas and Dudley says it's nice to know there are people out there like you who care and keep the cold cases going too. Thanks for all you do. For sure.
Right. Yeah, that was one of the main things when I started Kansas Missing and Unsolved 10 years ago, was to make sure that the cold cases weren't forgotten, that they were still fresh in everybody's mind, and let them know that somebody's not letting them be forgotten. That's just not an option.
Like the cases that I'm covering, like the ones that I deep dive on from my hometown, the main reason I started it was because when you Googled Suzanne Johnson 6 years ago, all you could find was a headstone, and it wasn't even hers.
Oh, wow.
It was a story. It was her like obituary, but it was not her headstone, because I've seen her headstone. It's like personally made. So the reason I do what I do is because now when you Google Suzanne Johnson, it's all over the internet. You know what I mean? And that's my mission is complete. People will learn about her. It's digital now. People 50 years from now can read about how Suzanne Johnson, her murder wasn't solved. I have the entire trial transcript from the trial from her murder. It's all on the internet. And that's why I do what I do, because I don't want these people to be forgotten. Like you said, they don't have a voice anymore. And if I would have not done this, all the people that she knew, they're all in their 60s now. And eventually 20, 30 years from now, they're all going to be gone, and nobody's going to know about Suzanne, but not anymore. Right. And all these people we cover and name our shows after, they're always going to be remembered because we're doing this digitally every week. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
That's what I like
out
to
there.
do.
Yeah, these shows will be out there long after we're gone. So
yeah. Well, we made it to 59 minutes and 10 seconds. I think you can squeeze a prayer in 45 seconds, man.
I think so.
We'll actually do a 1-hour show.
Yeah. Well, Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight to go over some cases and hopefully bring some people home and get some information generated on those that were violently taken from their families and they don't have answers. Hopefully we can help bring them answers. Keep everybody safe and healthy and going in the right direction until we meet again on Tuesday. And we pray these things in your name, Heavenly Father. Amen.
Amen.
If you or someone you know is experiencing a suicidal crisis or emotional distress, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255.